So the first one we're going to talk about is called the biceps load test. Biceps load test.
Test 9. Can you write that for me?
Yeah, biceps load.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm putting him in a 90 degree position, and we're going to have him externally rotate, so basically his palm is facing his hand, or his head, I mean. Palm is facing his head. Okay, hold your arm up there. There you go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pull out here. Okay, so he's going to resist my pulling out. And that's all it is, okay? That's all it is. Positive is going to be pain. It's going to be painful in his shoulder. Okay? And that could indicate what's called a SLAP lesion. Has anyone heard of a SLAP lesion before? Mm-hmm. SLAP stands for superior labrum. Okay, so we're thinking the labrum circle, so we're thinking the superior part of it. A lesion or a tear from anterior to posterior. Okay?
Superior lesion.
Anterior to posterior. SLAP.
So you just pull a little? That's all you do?
Yeah, so essentially what we're doing is, because if you think about the anatomy, the long head of the biceps runs up through the intertubercle groove, comes up, and attaches to the top portion of the glenoid labrum. Okay? Everyone kind of remember that? So when I have him do this, we're testing the long head essentially, and we're putting that stress on the long head. And so it's pulling on that superior portion of the labrum. If that's torn, he's going to get pain in there. Okay? So that's why this test would be, he'd have pain, and that's how we'd get a positive test. Okay? So you don't do it here because you can use your short head, your biceps. We have them up here, so we use the long head.
Got it.
Okay? So positive is pain. Positive test is pain. And that's going to be for SLAP lesion.
No, slap.
SLAP. No, this is biceps load test. Biceps load. Okay? So you have them in a 90 degree position with what's called external rotation. Basically just have their palm facing their head. And then they resist you in basically an elbow extension. Okay?
So what's the positive sign for that?
Pain.
Pain.
Just pain?
Pain.
Okay.
Alright? So the other one that we're going to do is called O'Brien's. Okay?
The arm is...
So the arm is forward flexed to 90 degrees. Okay? Horizontally adducted to 45 degrees. Okay? And then internally rotated maximally. So thumbs down. Okay? Everyone got this position here? So what I'm going to do is he's just going to resist me as I push down, okay? And that may be painful. Or weak, which feels like both because he can't really hold me up. And then we have him go into external rotation, okay? And then we do the same thing. And if he's stronger or it's less painful in that position, then that's a positive sign. Okay?
For what?
And that's positive again for SLAP lesion.
Where does it hurt you? Right here?
Hurts like kind of, that's called O'Brien's test. So pain, weakness, there may also be some popping. They may get some popping with that, okay? So like I said, that's gonna be indicative of a SLAP lesion.
So is this like a labrum tear? Like part of the labrum is pulling out of the socket, or like?
It's labrum tear. So labrum is circular, okay? Ball and socket, so it's kind of conic like that. Basically, there's gonna be a tear right along here, okay?
Oh, so the head.
So that's where the long head of the biceps comes in and attaches. And so whenever when we do the biceps load, when we load that, it's pulling, and so it's separating that tear, or it's pulling in the glenoid labrum.
So that means he has a tear?
And so he could have a SLAP lesion, yeah.
Right.
And what's the treatment for that?
Surgery.
Yeah.
But again, conservative treatment, you work on shoulder strengthening, shoulder stability. They try that. If that fails, then they do.
It doesn't reheal itself?
Nope, it's just like meniscus tear.
Meniscus tear. Is that innervated by blood? Is that blood supply a labrum?
Just right around the edges, just like meniscus, like outer third, inner third. You know how those are innervated. Essentially, the glenoid labrum is the same way. So except for there's no real inner to the glenoid labrum because it's completely circular, whereas the meniscus is C-shaped. Okay? So those are the two for the labrum. The last two we're going to go over are for what's considered thoracic outlet syndrome. TOS, thoracic outlet syndrome. Okay? That's grind.
Outlet.
Yeah, we went over the last one. I know, at this point, huh? Okay, so for thoracic outlet, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him into extension, okay, and external rotation. Okay? So, while I'm doing this, I'm feeling for his radial pulse. Okay, so I've got his radial pulse right now. What I'm going to have him do is I'm going to have him turn his head towards me and take a deep breath.
Oh no.
Turn your head all the way towards me, as far as you can go. And now take a deep breath. If when he takes a deep breath and holds it for about 5 seconds, then he can let it out so he's not holding it the whole time I'm talking.
Phone him up.
But if when he takes a deep breath, you lose the radial pulse, where the radial pulse is diminished, that's a positive sign, okay? For thoracic outlet syndrome.
Do you feel his pulse? Did it go away?
No. He's lucky. Okay? So you have the shoulder in extension and external rotation, okay? And then he's going to turn his head towards you and take a deep breath. If you feel the radial pulse diminish or go absent, that's a positive sign,
For what?
okay? For thoracic outlet syndrome. That's this one. This test. I'm sorry. I thought I mentioned that. This test is called Allen's test. Nope. Sorry, Adson's test. ADSONS. That was easy. Adson's. ADSONS. This is Adson's test. Positive sign is diminished or absent radial pulse, and that's positive for thoracic outlet syndrome. Okay? The next one is Allen's test, ALLEN. 90-90, okay? I'm feeling for that radial pulse again. This time he's going to look away and take a deep breath. And then if you feel that radial pulse diminish. Okay? You have a little bit of shoulder extension too. Okay? You can let it out. Okay.
So the other one though, his arm was fully extended, right?
Fully extended, yep. Fully extended, and then he looks, the biggest difference is he looks towards the affected side, or the testing side. Okay? So he looks towards and takes a deep breath. The other one, he looks away and takes the breath.
Or you testing for
Okay.
the same thing?
But I test for the same thing, yeah. But always checking for that radial pulse, and if you feel it diminish, then that's going to be a positive sign. So the last one was called Allen's, ALLENS. Okay? So we're going to go practice the biceps load, the O'Brien's, the Adson's, and the Allen's test.
Last.
Those were the last four.
Thank you.